Diane Jenkins Abbott is about to walk into a nightmare. A nightmare she never imagined. A nightmare that will explode her marriage in seconds. Because at this very moment, on a luxury yacht drifting quietly on the water, Jack Abbott is not alone. He's in a room with Patty Williams. And he's not thinking clearly. He's drugged. He's vulnerable. And Patty is taking full advantage. In just minutes, Diane will burst through that door and witness something that could destroy everything she believes about her husband. The real question is not what Diane will see. The real question is, will their marriage survive it? The chaos begins earlier that day. Billy Abbott had a bad feelings. Something about Jack's sudden yacht trip didn't sit right with him, the timing felt strange, the secrecy felt worse. Billy started digging. And when Billy Abbott starts digging, things get uncovered fast. With a little pressure and a well-placed bribe to an office manager, Billy finally gets the information he needs. One name keeps appearing in the background of this situation. Patty Williams. That name alone is enough to send chills through the Abbott family. Patty has a long history with them. A dangerous history. A history filled with obsession, manipulation, and chaos. When Billy realizes Patty may be involved in whatever is happening on Jack's yacht, alarm bells go off instantly. This isn't just a coincidence. This is trouble. Serious trouble. Billy contacts Diane and Kyle immediately. He doesn't sugarcoat the situation. Patty Williams is connected to Jack's yacht trip. And if Patty is involved, nothing about this situation is safe. Diane's reaction is immediate. Her stomach drops. Patty has been obsessed with Jack for years. Obsessed enough to do things that most people wouldn't even imagine. Diane knows exactly how dangerous Patty can be. Which means there's only one thing Diane can do. She has to get to Jack. Now, there's no time to wait. Within minutes, Diane, Billy, and Kyle arrange a boat. The plan is simple. Find the yacht, get Jack, and end whatever twisted game Patty is playing. But the closer they get to the yacht, the more uneasy Diane feels. Something is wrong. Deeply wrong. Out on the water, the massive yacht looks peaceful. Quiet. Almost too quiet. But inside, a completely different story is unfolding. Inside one of the private cabins, Jack Abbott is struggling to focus. His mind feels foggy. Heavy. Slow. The room seems to move around him. Jack tries to stand, but his balance is off. His thoughts are tangled. He can't think clearly. And standing nearby, watching everything carefully, is Patty Williams. Her eyes are locked on Jack. There's a strange satisfaction in her expression. Because this moment didn't happen by accident. Patty planned it. Every step. Every move. Jack doesn't fully understand what's happening to him. But Patty knows exactly what's happening. The drug she gave him is doing its job. Jack's defenses are down. His judgment is clouded. His reality is slipping. Patty moves closer. She speaks softly, comfortingly, manipulatively. Jack tries to make sense of her words, but his mind is spinning. The lines between right and wrong are starting to blur. And that's exactly what Patty wants. Meanwhile, Diane's boat finally reaches the yacht. Her heart is racing. Billy and Kyle tie the boat off quickly. The three of them climb aboard. Diane doesn't hesitate. She rushes forward immediately. Her voice echoes through the corridor. Jack, no response. Just silence. That silence only makes Diane more anxious. She moves faster down the hallway. Billy and Kyle follow behind her, tense and alert. Diane calls out again. Jack, still nothing. But then Diane sees a door at the end of the corridor. Something about it feels wrong. Her instincts are screaming. Jack is behind that door. She can feel it. Diane marches forward. Her hand slams against the door. Jack, open the door. No answer. She pounds harder. Still nothing. Billy and Kyle exchange worried looks behind her. And then Diane realizes something. The door isn't locked. Her hand slowly reaches for the handle. For a moment she hesitates, because deep down she's afraid of what she might see. But Diane pushes the door open anyway. And the moment she steps inside, her entire world shatters. Jack Abbott is in the bed. And Patty Williams is right there with him. The scene is unmistakable. Sheets tangled. Bodies close. Jack clearly not thinking straight. And Patty far too comfortable. Diane freezes. For one horrifying second she can't even breathe. Shock, disbelief, pure rage. It all hits her at once. Jack barely even notices Diane at first. His eyes are unfocused. His movements slow. Something is clearly very wrong. But Patty notices Diane immediately. And for a brief moment, a smug smile crosses her face. That smile is all it takes. Diane explodes. What the hell is going on here? Her voice shakes the entire room. Jack looks confused, lost, disoriented. But Diane isn't focused on Jack right now. Her eyes are locked on Patty. And the fury in them is unmistakable. Because Diane knows exactly what this looks like. And she knows exactly who is responsible. Patty Williams. The woman who has spent years causing chaos for the Abbott family. The woman who has always had an unhealthy fixation on Jack. And now, Diane is staring directly at the consequences of that obsession. Billy and Kyle arrive at the doorway just in time to see the aftermath. Neither of them speaks. They don't have to. The situation is clear. Diane storms toward the bed. Her voice trembling with rage. What did you do to him? Jack tries to respond but the words barely come out. His head is spinning. His thoughts slipping. And that's when Diane sees it. The look in Jack's eyes. This isn't normal. This is Jack. Something is very wrong. Diane studies him carefully. His movements, his speech, his confusion. And suddenly, the horrifying truth hits her. Jack has been drugged. Her anger shifts instantly. It's still there. But now it has a clear target. Patty. Diane turns toward her slowly. And the temperature in the room drops. You drugged him. Patty doesn't deny it. Instead, she tilts her head slightly. Almost amused. Almost proud. That reaction pushes Diane over the edge. Years of history. Years of rivalry. Years of tension between these two women explode in that moment. Diane steps forward. Her voice sharp as glass. You sick, twisted woman. Patty simply smiles. And that smile guarantees one thing. This fight is far from over. Because Diane Jenkins Abbott is not about to let Patty Williams walk away from this. Not this time. And not after what she just saw. But Patty has one more surprise waiting. A surprise that could make this entire situation even worse. Because Patty hasn't been acting alone. Someone powerful helped her. Someone who wanted Jack exactly where he is right now. And the moment Diane discovers who that person is, the Abbott family's nightmare will only get bigger. Because Victor Newman is already several steps ahead. And the damage he has set in motion may already be impossible to undo. But the real devastation hasn't even started yet. Because once Jack fully realizes what happened in that room, the fallout will shake the Abbott family to its core. And Diane will be forced to ask herself one terrifying question. Was her marriage just destroyed forever? Or is the worst betrayal still coming? Jack Abbott slowly begins to wake up. The room feels different now. Quieter. Heavier. His head throbs with a dull, pounding pain. Every thought feels like it's moving through fog. For several seconds, Jack just stares at the ceiling, trying to make sense of where he is. Then he hears Diane's voice. Sharp, angry, filled with emotions. And suddenly everything rushes back. The yacht. The strange drink. The dizziness. Patty. Jack bolts upright in the bed. The sudden movement makes the room spin. He grabs his head, trying to steady himself. What happened? His voice sounds weak. Confused. Nothing like the confident Jack Abbott everyone knows. Diane stares at him. Her emotions are complicated. There's anger in her eyes. But there's also pain. And something else. Fear. Because the image she walked in on is still burned into her mind. Jack with Patty. In that bed. Even knowing Jack may have been drugged doesn't erase what Diane saw. Jack notices the tension immediately. He looks around the rooms. Billy, Kyle, and then Patty. The sight of Patty standing there sends a shock through him. His face drains of color. No, Jack's voice cracks. His memory starts filling in the missing pieces. The drink, the dizziness, Patty getting closer. Too close. Jack's stomach twists. Oh my God. He swings his legs off the bed trying to stand. But his balance still isn't fully back. Kyle rushes forward to steady him. Easy, Dad. Jack looks at Kyle's, then Billy, then Diane's. Shame spreads across his face. I did. He struggles to find the words. Because right now Jack doesn't fully know what happened either. That uncertainty makes the situation even worse. Diane watches him carefully. She sees the horror in his eyes. The confusion. The realization. And deep down Diane knows something. Jack didn't plan this. Jack didn't want this. But the damage is still real. Because even if Jack didn't go all the way with Patty, he went far enough. Far enough to hurt Diane deeply. Far enough to shake the foundation of their marriage. Jack finally looks directly at Patty. His voice turns cold. What did you do to me? Patty shrugs casually. Like the entire situation doesn't matter. Like this is all just a game. You were lonely, she says smoothly. Jack's anger ignites instantly. Don't you dare twist this. Billy steps between them, sensing the tension rising fast. But Patty doesn't look intimidated. Not even slightly. Because Patty believes she already won. She got what she wanted. She got close to Jack. She humiliated Diane. And she helped someone else carry out a much bigger plan. Diane suddenly steps forward. Her patience is gone. You think this is funny? Patty tilts her head. Oh Diane, you always were dramatic. That comment lands like gasoline on fire. Diane lunges forward. Billy quickly grabs her arm to stop things from getting physical. But the fury in Diane's voice is impossible to ignore. You drugged my husband. Patty finally drops the playful attitude. Her eyes flash with something darker. He wasn't exactly fighting me. Jack explodes. Because I was drugged. The room falls silent. The truth hangs heavily in the air. Kyle clenches his fists. Billy looks ready to throw Patty off the yacht himself. But Patty remains strangely calm. Because she knows something the others don't. Something important. And she finally decides to say it. You should really thank Victor. The name lands like a bomb. Everyone freezes. Diane's eyes widen. Victor. Patty smiles again. That's right. Suddenly everything starts making sense. Victor Newman's. Of course. The man who never misses a chance to manipulate his enemies. The man who would absolutely recruit someone like Patty to create chaos for the Abbotts. Billy mutters under his breath. That son of a... But Patty interrupts him. Oh please, Victor didn't force me. Her smile grows wider. I volunteered. Diane shakes her head in disbelief. You're insane. Patty doesn't deny it. She simply shrugs again. Maybe. Jack slowly sits down again, overwhelmed. Victor used Patty. Patty drugged him. And now his marriage is hanging by a thread. The weight of it all hits him at once. Jack runs his hand through his hair. How far did this go? No one answers immediately. The question hangs in the air like a storm cloud. Because the truth is messy. Jack may not have fully betrayed Diane. But he got dangerously close. Close enough to cause damage. Close enough to make Diane question everything. Diane turns away from him. That reaction hurts Jack more than anything Patty said. Because Diane's silence feels heavier than anger. Jack stands slowly. He moves toward her. Diane. She doesn't turn around. Not yet. I didn't choose this, Jack says quietly. His voice carries genuine pain. I would never do this to you. Diane finally turns. Her eyes glisten slightly. But her voice stays firm. I know you were drugged. That gives Jack a small sense of relief. But Diane isn't finished. Still, I saw what I saw. Jack has no answer for that. Because she's right. The damage can't be unseen. Meanwhile, Patty moves toward the door. Like someone whose job here is already done. Billy notices immediately. Where do you think you're going? Patty pauses. Then smiles again. Back to Genoa City. Kyle blocks the doorway. You think you can just walk away? Patty's expression turns strangely confident. Oh, I'm sure Victor will handle things. That sentence alone sends chills through the room. Because if Victor is involved, things are never simple. Patty finally walks past them. No one stops her. Not yet. And somehow that makes the situation feel even worse. Because it means this story isn't over. Not even close. As Patty disappears down the corridor, Diane looks back at Jack. Their eyes meet. So much history. So much love. And now so much damage. Jack speaks softly. We can fix this. But Diane's expression is uncertain. Because the question haunting her mind is impossible to ignore. If Victor Newman is behind this, what else has he planned? And is this just the beginning of something even more dangerous? Because in Genoa City, when Victor Newman makes a move, the consequences rarely stop with just one victim. And now the Abbott family may be walking straight into the next phase of his plan. The only question left is, how much worse is it about to get?